It is the trade deadline. That was where we left off the last time we were recording this series. So I'm just going to take this right to the deadline day. And I believe once it simulates, the game is going to tell me the deadline is upon it. Yeah, the trade block I want to ignore. I don't care about the trade block. But it's going to tell me deadline day. Do I want to open my phones and make some trades? And I do. We looked at trades at the end of the last episode, episode 7. So we're going in. And on deadline day, I have 3 phones. So I have 3 phones to propose a trade. We were looking at some options, and I wanted to give people an opportunity to input any opinions they wanted to on a possible trade for the deadline. I did not get anything back, not surprising, but I'm going to do my own proposal. I want to target Alexei Yemelin. So, first and foremost, we're giving up on TJ Brodie. That would be the first thing that is going to be a part of this proposal to the Canadiens. Now, how old is Yemelin? Let me click on the player. 28. So he's 28 years old. 4 years left on the deal. So he signed at 3.9 through 4 years remaining. And that's what he's done in 231 games. I was wondering if there was in it his potential. That's what I wanted to see. He's 3.5 Silver Star potential. He's probably not going to get any better from here on in, but that's fine with me. We just want a small upgrade at the D position. And then there's TJ Brodie. So we're giving up on Brodie, who is 4 Red Star, 24 years of age. Probably not going to grow that much. He's just 81 overall. His skating is you can see the categories. He's actually pretty decent in terms of the categories that he has. But I want to see. Can I see his stats this season? He's 5 goals, 19 assists, 24 points on the back end. Is not terrible, but minus 15. Maybe a bit of a defensive liability. And he is listed as an offensive defenseman. What was Yemelin? Before we make any proposals, he is a top 4 defenseman, defensive defenseman. So he's defensive minded. And I think he's just about as good as TJ Brodie. This is just a hockey trade. This is a hockey trade. 2 teams just trying to make a trade to help each other out. And I'm not going to have anybody retain any salary. I don't think anyone's retaining salary at the moment. And here's the player overviews, a comparison of the 2 players. But we're going to sweeten this deal for Montreal because I do believe that, we would look at the trade value. We would have to sweeten that deal by a lot. So Ferland would sweeten that deal. So I really don't want to super cheese this by just throwing a ton of draft picks. I am going to throw in a second. I think a second is fair, and that definitely bumps up the value. We still are not quite meeting what Montreal wants, I think, with what we are offering here. I'm going to try to add a little bit more because we just don't have a whole lot that we can offer Montreal at the moment. There was a player that I had in mind that's down. There's a player down in the A. We have a prospect that I do want to send them that they are interested in. Oh, maybe they're not interested in. It's Michael Ferland, who doesn't have a ton of trade value. It's not league approved. I think Calgary would probably have too many skaters. So we will just take back a very cheap AHL. We'll just take back we have to get a player to sign, just a player with very minimal trade value, and that would improve that. Ferland has a little bit of trade value, but is the combined value of Brodie the second for this upcoming draft? That's a 2nd round pick. And Ferland, is that enough to get Yemelin from the Canadiens? And how much cap space would we have available? Barely any cap available, I think, after this trade. I think that's what's projected after the trade, but we will give it a shot and see. How do I execute it? Execute the trade. And Montreal is just not, they are not impressed with that. So I'm on the phone 2 of 3. So we're going to pull that back up, bring that back in. TJ Brodie, go find Montreal. Yemelin is in there, and we could definitely do this. I am going to try to make this worth Montreal's time. I don't want to give up a ton for this player. We don't have any goalies, do we? That would make any sense. We don't have any goalies that have any value that would sweeten this deal. I'm not sending you Mrazek. Mrazek is my goaltender. So we can definitely throw in the first, or we can try and throw in a 2016 first. We could make the playoffs this year, so they might be enticed to try this 2016 first. Remember, we're only doing 5 seasons, so this is a little cheap to throw Montreal the first because look at the value. This bumps up the value. I could probably basically get Yemelin for just a first, but I'm going to send them Brody and the first to make that make sense for Montreal. We're going to try to poach Yemelin from the Canadians here. I'm going to assume the computer is going to like this, but do they like it? And they do. Now we've got Yemelin. So the trade is official between the Canadians and the Flames. We get Yemelin from Montreal. They get TJ Brody, a little bit younger, maybe a chance to grow a little bit more. They give up on the experienced and better defenseman in Yemelin. And I am shutting down my phones. What hour are we in? 2 hours remaining. Is there maybe a goaltender out there? Maybe we can see if we can get a better goaltender. I'm going to see what goalies are out there. Goalies giving away. Nope. All right, this is the last hour remaining, and the phones are being shut down for the deadline. We made our deal. Now, I do want to know, where are the standings? Did that make sense for Montreal? Are they in the hunt for a playoff spot? Yeah, they are. So that kind of didn't make sense. It kind of does. I mean, they got Brody. They got better. They got younger. And they didn't necessarily get better on the back end, but they got younger. And maybe a little more promising because I think Brody, he still have the... I didn't mean to go to the AHL. Whoops. Brody could still grow. I know he's for Red Star potential, but he could still grow. And did you see the stats? All of his attributes are pretty decent. He's more than decent. Just not working out for us and the Calgary Flames. So where does that put Yemelin? Second pairing right away. Looks nice beside Girardi. We've gotten a lot more defensive-minded on the back end as well. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think Yemelin could be first pair. He's top 4, so he can play in the top 2 pairings on the back end and be fine. Is he a right or a left shot? He is a left shot. And Giordano is a left shot. I'm fine with him playing his offside. He's just going to have to be comfortable playing his offside, and he's defensive-minded. We're just going to leave that, but he will probably get in on the penalty kill. Yeah, I'm going to substitute him in for Weidman. Weidman, you're not killing penalties anymore. So we're now into the final home stretch of the season. This is the post-deadline portion of the year. I'm just going to scroll through it in this screen to show you all the games left. There's all the weeks that remain. It would take us to April the 11th. That's the final game of the year on the road in San Jose. We got Yemelin on the back end. This is the beginning of the post-deadline sim. So let's get into it. And it's Mrazek's net, and he takes us to a 2-1 win. So I'm going to keep Mrazek in there on the road against the Carolina Hurricanes. We're on this little East Coast road trip right now. Remember, we went into the deadline with that loss to Pittsburgh. Very good Hurricanes team. They beat us. They beat us in regulation. That's unfortunate. They did beat us in regulation. Keeping with the Petr Mrazek theme in the net against the Sharks. This is a home game, so we're back home. Played 2 games out east. And then came back home. And we won. All right, so we beat the Sharks 6-4. Still Petr Mrazek's net. I'm just going to let him run with it. He's rolling right now. And I want Petr Mrazek to take over the goal crease. He has to become the guy. I mean, if we make the playoffs, there is going to be one goaltender for the entirety of the playoffs. And there's a 2-0 win, a shutout victory. Adding Yemelin, this is since we've added Yemelin. Win over the Capitals. 1 loss in regulation to the Hurricanes, but then we bounced back 6-4 W, 2-0 shutout win over Vancouver. And we got a back-to-back with travel, Avalanche, Wild. So we got to get Hudobin back in the net in one of those games. I'm going to probably be Petr Mrazek against Colorado and then Hudobin against Minnesota. And this will probably be a little bit shorter episode than usual, I anticipate. I mean, we don't have long to sim. Of course, we will check out progress reports and stats and all that at the very end of this episode. But for now, we'll focus on this game against the Avalanche. Does Petr Mrazek carry us to a win against a struggling Avalanche team? He does not. It is a 3-1 loss, and now it's Hudobin's net again. All right, Hudobin getting back in there. First time since the deadline. First time playing behind Yemelin in a game as a member of the Flames, and we lose it, and it was a regulation loss. We've had that too in the overtime shootout loss category, and we still do. Feels like a worthwhile time to check out where we stand right now as of March the 18th in the game world. Less than a month until the regular season ends. I'm not sure how many games left. It's 12. It's 12 games left for us. So we just got 12 games. That is a possible 24 points, if my math is correct, that we can get in the standings. We are staying right in the mix, but man, 76 points. I want more than that. We're going to need more than that. I don't know. What is the wild card right now? So it would be Anaheim and it would be ourselves. So it would be Anaheim and ourselves are the wild card teams right now. And we're tied on points with Vancouver. So right now we've got some kind of a tiebreaker over the Vancouver Canucks. So it's Mrazek against Dallas. This is a road game. I really need a win here. We need a win big time, and we get one. I don't even care if it was in regulation. Well, I do. Where are the Dallas Stars? Oh, they're down there. But still, we just needed to get the points. Just get the 2 points. That's all that I'm concerned with. All right, now Vancouver. This is a big game. Big head-to-head with Vancouver. We have to take this in regulation. Take the win, but preferably in regulation. We get it. Was that a regulation win? That was a regulation win. It was a 3-2 win in reg, and that was Petr Mrazek's net. I'm gonna stick with Mrazek against the Avalanche. You gotta continue to get it done, buddy. Carry this team into the playoffs on his shoulders. I need another one. We lost to the Avalanche last time. We lost again, but that one we did get a point. That was definitely. Was it an overtime? It was a shootout loss. Okay, it was a shootout loss. We got a point in that one, so we did salvage that point. And again, the standings. We have leapfrogged Anaheim while being level on points with them. Here's the East. I haven't shown the East either. Not too much. Not that I care too much about the East, because that doesn't concern me unless we make the Stanley Cup final. But there's the way the East shakes out. I'm going to give Mrazek a break. So is giving Mrazek a night off? Hudobin has the net against Chicago. Is that the right call? If we get the win, it's the right call, and it is a win. And it is a 2-goal win, a win by a 2-goal margin. We'll put it that way. Okay, so it's back-to-backs. I'm going to show it real fast. It's back-to-back with Nashville and LA, so we're going to get Hudobin back in there against LA. I can't run Mrazek into the ground, but it is Peter's net against Nashville. So how does this game go? Put points in the bag. That's all that I'm asking for. Put points in the bag. Win in where you can. Nashville Predators is a win. And we won big 6-2 over the Predators. So Hudobin again. I'm just trying to keep my goaltenders from being too burnt out. Oh yeah, if you want to see that, we'll just keep real close tabs on the standings. We don't have a goaltender in that stat category there, except for wins. Petr Mrazek has 28 of those. That is third place, but 2 wins off of Cam Ward. That's what I was trying to say, but my brain just was not functioning at that exact moment. We have now catapulted ourselves to 3rd in the division, 1 point behind San Jose. Do you think Phoenix is catchable? Phoenix is not catchable. All right, Los Angeles Kings. It's a road game. We are on a road trip as we speak, and we lost 4-3 scout assignment. So the loss to LA. We didn't get a point in that because we still had the 86. Oh, no, we did. Wait a minute. Yeah. What? We lost in a shootout, but didn't we have 86 points before? Anyway, ourselves and LA are now matched on points at 86. This run to the last 2 weeks left in the season. That's it. For us, it's 6 games. Last 6 games. This is going to be quite the run. The dash to the Stanley Cup playoffs. It looks like if we just win a couple of games, I think we're locked into a playoff spot. Look at the gap we have over the Central Division. The wild card looks like it very well might come out of the Pacific against the aforementioned uncatchable Phoenix Coyotes. This is going to be Petr Mrazek's net. I'll tell you, if Peter doesn't grow from this season, tough 3-0 loss. Shake it off. Come back and beat the Anaheim Ducks. But if he doesn't grow this season, it will be a travesty. All the starts he's got, I gotta look at the stats because he has played a lot more games than I thought he would. I thought we would have like a 1A, 1B situation. There's a win over Anaheim, so we got right back on the right track. And again, because the standings are so close, we're basically going to be looking at the standings every day. We're up to 88 points, so LA has not won since they beat us in that 4-3 win there on the 29th Well, I'm just going to, we got days off. We'll play Mrazek against the Oilers. You can catch that rest after the game. Just go out and put your best foot forward. We're playing our Alberta-based rivals, the Edmonton Oilers, who are buried in the Pacific Division. Just bury them even further. 6 feet under. That would be very nice to see. We do. We get a 4-2 win over the Edmonton Oilers. Well, this is just Mrazek getting prepared for playoffs now. I think we are as good as a playoff team right now. I think we just win one more game. We're definitely locked in. I don't know if it has been secured yet. But yeah, Mrazek basically just getting that experience and honing up for the playoffs. Ooh, 8-2 loss. I'll tell you what. I'm going to give Mrazek one night off here. Yeah, we got to get Hudobin in there before the playoffs. And one more look at the standings as well. I want to take a look. Mrazek has those 30 wins, second to Mike Smith in the NHL. And, oh, yeah, there's your goals leaders because I haven't kept tabs on that. Taylor Hall is contending for the Maurice Richard Trophy with that struggling Edmonton Oilers team. You're going to see them in the standings. They're at the bottom of the Pacific Division with those 79 points. And it is the Calgary Flames locked into third right now. And Nashville, the most points Nashville, I don't know how many games Nashville has left because they may have more games left than 2 games left. We have 2 games left in our season. Win one of these and it would pretty much guarantee that we're a playoff team. That head-to-head with San Jose is crucial. You see, we are 4 points behind the Sharks. If we can win that in regulation, we get 2 points on them. We need San Jose to struggle at the end of the year, but most importantly, we need to beat Edmonton, so let's sim it up. And hopefully, the Oilers can be very kind to us and give us the 2 points that we desperately would like and need against them. And we know Hudobin drops it in regulation. The whole team did. We didn't even get a goal in that game. We never gave him any goal support. All right, final game of the year. We're just going to sim right past it. It's Mrazek's net, and then we'll know if we're a playoff team or not after this. But just win this game, and it's not even an issue if we win the game. On the road in San Jose, it's season finale. And we win 5-2. No question about that one being in regulation. Now, we did not catch the Sharks because we had to win that game against the Edmonton Oilers to at least give ourselves a shot. But look at the Cam Ward with a .939 save percentage as the leader in the NHL and a 1.81 GAA. What a boss. Cam Ward just sims well in this game for some reason. And Mrazek finishes with 31 wins. We'll take a look at all that stuff in a moment. Taylor Hall, it looks like, might win the Richard Trophy. Again, the season has not officially ended yet, but I'm just taking a look at all this stuff as it stands right now. Toronto is the President's Trophy winner in this universe. That's crazy. So who is vying for Connor McDavid? Boston. It looks like the Boston Bruins are about to get Connor McDavid, unless something goes awfully wrong for them in the draft lottery. In the Pacific Division, we finished third right now. I think we're guaranteed third in the Pacific. So we are a playoff team. So that means if I sim ahead, let me sim one day ahead. That means we will finally be doing playoff games in this series. It just took us 2 seasons to get there. I want to find out who our first round matchup is, and then we will look at progress reports and regular season statistics, and we do get there. Well, there's the owner telling me what he thinks about our season, and I've raised the profile of the Calgary Flames. Well, I'm really glad. Now we'll get to play those playoff games, and we get the San Jose Sharks in round 1. The team, so the last game of the regular season was a tune-up for the playoffs indeed for everyone, as we will be playing the San Jose Sharks. We'll look at the playoff tree to see that in greater detail. I don't know why I'm thumbing through this. So there's still a lot to go through. I'm going to load in all the stats. This is player stats that we're going into, and we'll look at team stats in a moment as well. I don't know why this is so slow to load in because it's just an old console, an old game. So for the Calgary Flames in particular, 25 goals by Mike Camilleri. That led the team, still way off the mark from being a point per game. Not even Callahan was not even close to a point per game. But anyway, going back to sorting this by goals, here's what everybody did in Season 2. So this is your goal. Did anybody not score? Chimera didn't score. He played 19 games. And Derek Smith played 1 game and didn't score. We stayed largely healthy for the most part through the regular season. So I got no complaints in terms of just the injuries. Much better this year. A lot less injuries to go through. As we look at the guys that played 82 games. So many guys on this team played 82 games. That's insane. Well, let's look at the assist leaders. Assist leader, Callahan, playing alongside Camilleri. That makes a lot of sense. He was feeding Camilleri rather, on those goals, and he scored those 25 goals. They split it up nicely. The offense on that first line between those two, Callahan and Camilleri, they split it up nicely, and that's reflected in the points total. Sven Baertschi benefiting from playing a lot of the season, I believe, on the first line. Along with those guys, he split time between the first and second line this year. And then Hudler still producing, but not as much as I was hoping. We just did not get anywhere near a 30-goal scorer. How did things shake out? Plus oh my God. I should have pulled up. I totally forgot about Yemelin for a second there, but I should have pulled up his stats before he played a game for us to see what he did. But he's plus 26. I mean, this guy is legit shut down. And how many games did he play this year? 81 games for Yemelin. Not really a big offensive producer. I mean, 7 goals is not bad at all from the back end, by the way, for a defensive defenseman, but it's that plus minus. That's all I care about. I get a good defenseman that is going to get in the lineup. I want you to finish the year with a good plus minus, and plus 26. That's a complete reversal of Ryan Whitney's plus minus stats from last season. How many guys even a minus on this team? We got to sort this by, whoops, that's the teams. I want to sort this by defensemen because I'm more concerned with defensemen's plus minus that we have. Yeah, okay, so we had quite a few guys, but they weren't terrible. Like Girardi's a -3, Giordano's a -4. That's not awful. The worst was a -7. Our best was a plus 26, but I think he benefited in terms of that category from playing with Montreal for much of the season. Okay, so my forwards, face-off percentage. Boyle was pretty decent. He didn't take a ton of face-offs. He took 639. Camilleri, better than 50%. Chimera, in the 17 he took, better than 50%. Jones, better than 50. So, again, Backlund just struggles to be at that 50% or better mark. So another season where he took more than 1,000 face-offs and was on the negative side of 50%. That's just the number that I'm looking at. And then Hilder, struggling, 43% on the draw. So who dished out the most hits? It was Ryan Callahan, the most physical, the grinder on the first line, dishing out all those hits, getting all that ice time. All right, goaltenders, yep. We ended up not splitting at 50-50. Mrazek became the number 1, and he is boosted to an 80 overall before the playoffs. That's huge. He has got to have a ton of confidence. I mean, he has a very similar GAA to Hudobin, having played 57 games this year. Similar GAA. He won 31 games, had 22 losses. That's going to come with the experience. He's getting that experience, but he had a slightly better save percentage in way more games. How many shots did he face? Having faced 1,700 shots, finished with a 91% save percentage. I am very thrilled about that for a 23-year-old, 3.5 gold star potential, Petr Mrazek. This guy, he might bump to a mid-80s goaltender, maybe high 80s, if he grows the right way. So with that, I'm very thrilled about Petr Mrazek and our goaltending situation because this guy is the number 1 goaltender going into the postseason, which is what I was hoping to do. I was hoping to make Mrazek grow and he could take over the net. I was waiting for that moment, and he did. He took over the net very quickly into the season. For the first half of the year, we did kind of roll it 1A, 1B, just trying to figure it out. And I think what I did is for one of the previous episodes, I think what I did is I went back and forth swapping goaltenders. But for the second half of the season, I just left Mrazek in there for the majority of games, and he delivered. So the team standings and how the entire league. But we'll look at it in the context of the whole league. So the President's Trophy winners, without a doubt, the Toronto Maple Leafs. 119 points, excellent season. And I may even pull up player stats and see who led the league in goals and everything in a moment, because I totally forgot about that. But we're in this screen for the time being. And this is the standings in the entire league. We've, of course, seen we haven't seen the playoff tree, but we saw the teams that did qualify for the playoffs, and that's also in front of us right here. Who just missed out? So we're looking at the East. Columbus is in the East. So they just missed. Wow. Behind Pittsburgh and Tampa, 90 points got them in. And it was the difference in terms of wins that Tampa Bay had over these two teams, Pittsburgh and Columbus. They had that 42 wins. Now in the West, Who just missed out in the West? Who's the first team out in the West? Vancouver. Yeah, Vancouver just missing out, nudged out by Anaheim. That's in the Pacific. So Anaheim had that 1 point over them. If Vancouver won one more game, they would have been in. So who was the best goal-scoring team in the NHL? It was the Carolina Hurricanes. They scored a lot of goals. I don't think that goals for per game pace has chilled out from the early part of the season. As they lead the NHL, we are 24th. 24th, we did not score a lot of goals this year, but fortunately thank God we got the goal. We got the goaltending. We did get the goaltending that we needed and the defensive play. So Carolina's goal for per game, was it above 3? Oh my God, we have 3 teams above 3 goals per game, and Carolina is getting closer to 4 goals per game pace. Carolina and Toronto are juggernauts. I'm glad I'm not in the East. Goodness gracious. That's going to be intimidating to play. And Columbus in the East. The East is, I don't even know how to describe the East. It is terrifying. I wouldn't want to be in the playoffs in the East. Columbus missed out, by the way, with a 3.09 G goals for per game average. I don't know what I was trying to say there. I don't want to know how bad their goaltending was, but we're going to find that out soon. So Phoenix, with Mike Smith in the net, gave them the best goaltending. They only gave up 171 goals on the whole season. They dominated the Pacific, and yet they're not the President's Trophy winners, which is just insanity to me. And you can see the goals against numbers here as I scroll down. We'll eventually find Calgary. We are 21st, 200. So we still got good goaltending because our goaltending carried us into the playoffs. We clearly did not score a lot. We scored 210 and we gave up 229. So we actually gave up more goals. Our differential, it doesn't show the differential, does it? But our differential was actually in the negative. We gave up more goals than we scored, and yet we made the playoffs anyway as the 3 seed in the Pacific Division. So that average per game, ours is 2.79. It's getting closer to 3. You just cannot give up 3 goals average per game and expect to make the playoffs. Phoenix almost below 2. Crazy. That's kind of New Jersey from season 1 levels. Or is this season? This is season 2, right? I feel like I'm getting it mixed up. My brain is turning to mush. And who had the worst? Oh, Florida with 3.16. I'm not even looking at the worst. They had the worst goals against average in the league at 3.16. Who was I looking at? It was Columbus. They had a 2. Yeah, Columbus had a pretty bad year on the goals against. They scored 253 and gave up 235. So their differential was actually in the positive, and they missed. So the most power plays, that goes to Columbus, or most power play goals. Columbus had the most power play goals, so they were very efficient on the man advantage. We will look at the percentages in a moment. Where are we in goals on the power play? I passed us. For some reason, I did not see I skipped our name. We're 17th with 63 goals on the power play on 381 attempts. The translation in percentage for us is 16.5%. So who was the best team on the power play? Columbus. They did have the best power play in the NHL. So with the 86 goals, converting on 386 attempts, that would put them at a 22.3% clip on the power play. So anytime you're above 20%, pretty good when you're scoring like that on the power play. I would have liked to have seen us crept up here toward 18, 19% at a minimum. But we were not even that good. On the power play, we were 16.5. So I think it's slowly improved over the course of the season, but not a good sign going into the playoffs to have a very middling, and it's not even in the middle of the pack. It's a lower third of the NHL level power play. And I'm just going to look at the penalty kill percentages, and Phoenix, no surprise, they're not almost 90% is just insanity. What are they doing who do they have coaching the penalty kill there in Phoenix? That is impressive numbers right there. I mean, even if your penalty kill is 84, 85%, that's insane as well. So very efficient penalty killing there in Phoenix. We got to look at our opponent in the first round, don't we? The San Jose Sharks. So that's something else I will pay attention to after we look at us. But we had an 81.9% penalty kill. Again, special teams are just not working for us in the regular season. Didn't have a great special teams. Penalty kill, just same thing as the power play. Lower third of the NHL. Most shorthanded goals for Winnipeg and Vancouver. Look out, these teams can strike on the power play. Winnipeg, of course, will be in the playoffs. So, What did we do at home and away from home? We were 25, 15, and 1 at home, so very good at home. We do need to play well at home. We don't have home ice advantage for the first round at least. We will not be playing San Jose having home ice advantage. Unfortunately, we were pretty much 500 on the road. So if we can go into San Jose in the first 2 games in the series and at least take one, that will be a good positive sign for us. We finished the season 5-3-2 in our last 10. Now look at the San Jose Sharks, just purely the San Jose Sharks and what they did as a team. 96 points this year, finished slightly above us. I would like to see our head-to-head record with San Jose, but it does not tell us that in the screen. However, San Jose, scoring-wise, we could look at this in the context of the division. They had 228 goals, so let's look at their goals for per game. They were a scoring team. They can score 2.78. That's slightly behind the Edmonton Oilers, who had Taylor Hall, who I thought won the Maurice Richard Trophy. We're going to have to fact-check that in a moment. And their goals against, are they getting great goaltending? They're getting very good goaltending too. Not nearly as good as Phoenix, but they're a good team. San Jose is a very good team, and their special teams, not great. Not great on the power play, so that's a weak spot for them, something we can exploit. Their power play is not particularly threatening based on this number, and the penalty kill is actually worse than ours. So their penalty kill is worse than our penalty kill, so not a very threatening special team. This is not going to be a special team series from what I gather from this data. Now, they can score shorthanded. They had 7 shorthanded goals for, so we got to pay attention to that. And at home, they were 25, 14, and 2, so they were just as strong as we were at home, but like we were, on the road, they struggle on the road. So home ice in this series could be vitally important. They also finished at 500 to end the season. San Jose went 5-5-0 to end the last 10 games of the regular season. Okay, so your Richard Trophy winner is going to be Taylor Hall. He just nudged out Alex Ovechkin from winning another Richard Trophy, who had 90 points. Having a 100-point season is very difficult. In fact, Marian Gaborik is the only player that exceeded 100 points. And his Columbus Blue Jackets missed the playoffs. So here's, again, sorting by goals. Here's who did what. I'm going to scroll further down, and you can just kind of either slow down the video, pause, or take a peek at any players that you want to see. I'm just going to stop at about 30 goals, see who had a 30-plus goal season. Jonathan Drouin, most impressive among rookie skaters. He and Kucherov. You can tell that Tampa Bay has a very bright future right there. Okay, so we know that Cam Ward was the best goaltender on save percentage in the NHL. He played like 46 games, but there you go, 93% save percentage. Where in the context of all these good goaltenders did Petr Mrazek finish? He had a 91% save percentage. He should be showing up here very soon. And there he is, ahead of his teammate and backup goaltender, Anton Khudobin. And he had a 91.21 save percentage. That's very good from a very young, promising netminder. You can also see the shots against here beside the save percentage, so you can kind of judge it by who faced the most shots as well. Where did Brodeur finish? He still had a good year as a 42-year-old. Most goals for a defenseman goes to Morgan Riley, and technically a rookie skater. And he had a very good year, led defenseman in goal scoring, then Carlson. I'm shocked Erik Karlsson did not lead in points or goal scoring. Lyles led the defenseman in points in the NHL, so not even close to a point per game, but still better than some of our forwards on our team. That's impressive. The best plus-minus is Yemelin, but most of that's probably with the Canadians. Yemelin finishes as one of the best plus-minus defensemen in the NHL. Most power play goals on the back end, Duncan Keith, power play specialist for the Blackhawks. We'll see if they made the playoffs. I didn't really pay attention to that side of things, but we will look at the playoff tree right now. The playoff tree, and shockingly, Chicago missed. Chicago misses the playoffs, as we are going to get in, face the San Jose Sharks. There's the West, there's the East. The first round will be Phoenix and Anaheim, San Jose and Calgary, Minnesota and LA, St. Louis and Winnipeg in the West. Now shifting to the East, it will be Toronto and Tampa, Montreal and Buffalo, Carolina and Washington, and the Islanders and Rangers. We get an all-New York first-round series there. And since I'm here, I don't think I've showed the screen at all in this GM mode so far, but of course your Season 1 winners were the Nashville Predators, so this is indeed Season 2. We missed in Season 1. We did not make the playoffs. So the Nashville Predators take it in Season 1. The President's Trophy went to the New Jersey Devils. We already know that this year's President's Trophy winner is the Toronto Maple Leafs. Of course, that won't be updated until we are through with the postseason. The Sabres and the Predators played in the Stanley Cup Final in Season 1. The Art Ross went to Phil Kessel last season in Season 1. Season 1's Hart Memorial Trophy went to John Tavares. Season 1's James Norris went to Tyler Myers. The Lady Byng went to Phil Kessel. The Calder went to Sven Baertschi, so I didn't even realize this, but Sven Baertschi, a Calder Trophy winner. Should have been paying attention to this screen. Pecorine won the Conn Smythe. He's just too good. And the Vezina Trophy went to Cam Ward. I assume he will be winning back-to-back Vezina trophies. And the Jennings to Corey Schneider and Martin Brodeur. That goes to a goaltending tandem who allows the fewest goals scored against in a minimum of 25 games played. So that is the New Jersey Netminders. That tandem won the Jennings Trophy. Johnny Boychuk winning the Masterton Trophy. The Selke to Datsuk, no surprise on that one. Although that could go to a number of centers at this point in history. Because you see there, Bergeron, Taves, Kessler, Datsuk. Really good defensive-minded centers in this game world. And Ted Lindsay to John Tavares. Alexander Ovechkin, the defending Maurice Richard Trophy, not defending anymore. That has been won by Taylor Hall. And that's it. That is the look at all of the individual and team trophies from Season 1. This will be updated after this Season 2 playoffs. Okay, I don't know if I don't think it's going to say anything, is it? Oh, wait a minute. So the Chimera and Stahlberg attributes modified remains the same, but Sven Baertschi, is this average time on ice for the season? Sven Baertschi has one attribute modified, but it's yellow. Does that mean it's negative? No, his defensive awareness went up. But that's the only thing that's been modified so far before the first round of the playoffs starts. He is listed as a second line forward. He's 84 overall. And at the start of the season, can I see his overall rating to start the season was 84, and it has stayed 84 so far. It could grow in the offseason for Sven Baertschi, but other than that, no other growth that I can see here. I mean, I've sorted it by attributes modified. Chimera's has stayed the same, and Stahlberg's has stayed the same. Chimera has hardly been used this year because, I mean, we haven't had as many injuries as I was anticipating. I was prepared for more injuries, but we didn't get any. Okay, yeah, that is exactly what I love to see. Hudobin's not going to have really many attributes modified at this point. He's 28. He's not going to really grow or probably get worse. Playing 31 games, he should be good. But Mrazek, yes, up to an 80 overall, and that could boost even more after the offseason is done. That's what I'm excited to get to at some point. But, oh, yeah, the natural growth went up +1 in almost all categories in reflexes except for breakaway and 5-hole. So getting that experience, playing all those games, carrying the load for the Calgary Flames has helped Petr Mrazek grow a lot. His puck control, couple attributes modified, +2 natural growth in those categories. +2 is huge. Any more growth? Nothing in athletic. That's fine. That could still grow after the offseason. If he has a really good playoff run for us, oh man, we have got to play really good in front of him in the playoffs. Remember, I'm taking control of the team in the playoffs. He could see a huge bump. Imagine if we can go all the way. But I'm going to hold on to that thought. We are pretty much done with this video because progress reports was the last thing I wanted to look at. We will open the next episode. It will be Game 1, Round 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs against the San Jose Sharks. We're going to take a look at both teams' rosters and do a little bit of pre-scouting, if you will. And then we're going to just jump right into it.